Hey guys, welcome to Tech and Tuts, your personal digital platform enhancing education.
Press the subscribe button if you haven't already and press the bell icon and never stop learning. Hey guys, welcome back. Today our topic of discussion is list. So we will be using a PyCharm ID for that. So basically list is nothing but a collection of different items. It may be an integer, it may be a floating point, or it may be some kind of strings or sentence, whatever it may be. Unlike arrays, you may have heard of arrays in different other programming languages, where you cannot actually store different kinds of data types, elements of different kinds of data types in a array. So but in case of list, it is pretty easy. You can store different data types over there, right? So how to make a list? You must give a variable name first, so I will call it as list1. Then you can simply give the square brackets. So this is basically an empty list. So the list is named as list1, and this for now doesn't contain any element. Or you can simply predefine some elements like 1 2 3, maybe a number. You can even add some string, maybe I can call it like take and tuts. And as you can see, this spaces also doesn't matter at all. Then you simply give another comma, and then you can like add a floating point, maybe 1.9.23. You can even add some boolean values, maybe true. So let's try printing this list. So this is our list which contains all these elements. As you can see, it contains of elements of different kinds of data types, so not a problem. So let's print this. Print list1. Let's run this. So let's run this, and as you can see, it printed 123, taken to use 9.23 and true. So that's how you actually make a list of items. Okay, so next thing, what if I want to I want to add some more elements after creation of the list? So you can do it by a command called append, and then you can simply write the whatever element or number you want to add. Maybe a string saying hello. So then let's print it again. So Control C and Control V, and let's try running it. So first it will print this 1 2 3 taken to use 9.23 and true. Here it is, and in the next line it prints every element of this array, this list, along with another element which is hello, which we just added after this line. So you can add elements like this. You can also add elements at a particular position, like list 1, and then you can use something like insert, and inside that you need to pass two arguments. One of that is the position at which you want to insert the element. So I want to insert the element maybe in between 1 2 3 and taken tuts. So I want to insert the element at position 1, index 1, right? So I can write something 1 comma and maybe a value like something like code maybe. And if I print this, you can see this code will be attached over here in between 1 2 3 and taken tuts. So let's try that. See, the code have been inserted in between 1 2 3 and taken tuts. Okay, so another thing we must know that how the indexing of a list works. So it starts from 0. So 123, the index of 123 is basically 0, and then it continues as the list continues also. Or you can say that if I start from the last, it actually starts from -1. So the index of true is basically -1, then -2, -3, and then it continues from right to left. So left to right it starts from 0, and from right to left it starts from -1. So that thing must be known. We will use it. We can simply check it by printing. Okay, let's first comment this out. For that you can just give this three of these inverted commas, and then you can like print list 1. So if I pass the 0 index over here, I must see an output like 1 2 3. Yeah, see 1 2 3. So if I print the last element, which is 0 1 2 3, so if I pass 3 over here, I should see true as an output, right? 2 is the last element. Now interestingly, 3 also says it's true, means the index of true is 3, as well as the index of true is also -1 if we start from right side of the list, right? So it will also print true. See, so that's all about the index. So what if we want to delete some elements from this list? So user have created the list, and we need to delete an element. So for that there is two possible methods. You can simply write list 1, then you can write something like pop, and this and give this first brackets. So this will basically pop the last element of the list. So let's try running that. Okay, I also need to print the list, so just print list 1. Let's see the last element is true, but after I executed this line, which is list1.pop, I got an output up to 9.23. so the last element has been popped out. You can even pass a particular index value, so that just that element in that index value gets popped out. So if I want to pop out 9.23, whose index value I can say like -2, if I start from right, so that should pop 9.23 out of the list. See, 9.23 is not in the list anymore. Another way you can do it, you can do something basically like this. If you write list1 dot remove, and suppose you don't know the index number of this element, you know the number or the elements itself, so you can just pass the element. In my case, if I want to suppose delete 1 2 3 from the list, I can write list dot remove 1 2 3, and if I print this list, I should get a result which will be the list without the number 1 2 3. So let's try running it. See, 1 2 3 have been deleted from the list. There is another way through which you can like delete elements from a list. So I will comment this out, and that is using the del function. Basically what you can do is like you can write del, and you can give the list name. In my case it is list1. Then you can simply pass the index value of it. So maybe I want to delete the first element again, so it is 0, and I print the list, which is list1, and if I run it, I should again see that 1 2 3 have been deleted from the list. You can even delete a range of element from a list. Like if I want to delete elements taken to use 9.23 and 2, all of them, I mean I just want to keep 1 2 3 inside the list, and the rest of the element will be deleted. So you can do it simply by writing the initial index. So the index of taken tubes is 1, so I will start from 1. Then you give this colon, and then I want to delete all the elements, so I don't need to give any the final range, right? You need not to give the final value. I mean, it will start from 1, index number 1, and it will delete all the elements after that. So let's try running it. See, 1 to 3 is the only element that remains inside the list. Or suppose I want to delete only taken tunes and 9.3. I want to keep true and 1.3 inside this list. So I can start from 1 and I can run the loop until -1. So the index of true is -1. So the elements where the deletion of element will start from 1 itself, taken tunes, and it will run 1 minus the final value as it occurs in Python, as I have explained before also. So it should give me a result 1, 2, 3 and 2 only. So let's see. Yeah, there we are. So that's all about how you can add and delete elements from a list. One more thing that I must mention, that in list, suppose I want to uh, basically add to list. Okay, is it possible to concatenate to list? Concatenation is nothing but addition of two lists together. Suppose I have another list which may contain something like 456, text maybe uh, Python is awesome. Awesome. And maybe some values like 789, 234, 90.3, and as many as you want. So what if I want to concatenate this to list? I mean, I want to add this to list inside another list. So that can easily be done by simply using a plus sign. So let's take another list, which is list 3, and I will add these two lists inside that list. So list 1 plus list 2. So if I print print list 3, I should get all this value inside that list. Let's try that. See, all the values starting from 123 until 90.3 all have been added. I mean, all these elements have been appended inside this list 3. So you can do that, but something doesn't work over here. Like if I want to like multiply 2 to this all the elements of this list, can I do this? I mean, can I do something like this, list into 2? So will this 2 be multiplied with all the elements inside that list? The answer is no. I will show you what will happen. Suppose I store this inside something called list 3, and if I print this, you can it is list 1. So what happens is the elements that are inside list 1 is again repeated the number of times you multiply with the list. I mean, if I multiply 2 with the list, these elements will be repeated twice. If I multiply 3 with the list, these elements will be repeated thrice. So you cannot do something like this. For that, you must run some kind of loops if you want to multiply something to these elements. Okay, so you can also do something like this. Let me delete these lines, and suppose you can simply print a list just by writing print and then passing the name of the list, variable name of the list. Or I can also use a loop. For that, I will use a for loop. Then I will say something like for elements. You can take any name you want. I am taking elements, right? So it's not a problem. For elements in list, in list 1, let's print out the elements. So what it will do is basically this element is nothing but a variable that iterates through this list and keep on incrementing by 1. So first the element will be 23, then the element will point to take and choose, and then the element will point to 9.3, then the element will point to true, and then the loop will exit, right? So let's try running it. See, I get all those values just like this. 123, so it prints 123 at first, then it increments by 1, and then it prints take and use, then it increments by 1 and it prints 9.23. so elements is nothing but you can consider it as the index file. So let's do the program that I was telling a bit before, that what if I want to multiply 2 to each of these elements and then print the value. So let me take a pure list of number. So I will call the list number as well, and I will take some random numbers, maybe 45, 78, sorry, 900 maybe, and 21, and maybe I will take some smaller numbers over here, 4, 5, 3. Then let's just use a for loop for maybe I in number, and then what I need to do is multiply 2 with each of these elements, right? So one thing that we can do is maybe I take another variable called mult, and inside that I will multiply each of these elements with 2, right? And then I will insert this element to the index value itself. So number, I can take another variable j. I will explain it. Wait, let me write the code first. Number, inside this uh, brackets you give j, and you can write something like mult itself, and then increment j by 1. So what's happening over here is, first of all, for I in number, so the value of I is 2 in the beginning, right? So 2 into I is 4, right? So now the number j, if I initialize j by 0, so number inside this square brackets, if you give 0, so it indicates the index number, right? Element at 0 will be replaced by the value mult, which is nothing but I into 2, which is the 2 multiplied to the previous element which was in that position itself, I mean 0. So the loop will run like this, and I need to increment j by 1 every time the loop executes, so that this index value keep on incrementing by 1 until and unless it reaches the last element. I need not to increment that, because if I write something like for I in number, it will automatically end up after the completion of the list. I mean, I will go from 2 all the way to 21, and it will I mean exit from the loop automatically. So that should work. So let's try printing the list again. Number, sorry, number. One thing I can do is I can also print it over here, so that I can compare what happened. So I can print number over here also. So this list should print the original values, and this should print the values after being multiplied by 2. So let's try running it. See, first case it have just printed the original list, and in the second one it have each of the element have been multiplied by 2, and then it have been replaced, and then it replaced the initial element, right? There you go. 123 into 2 is 246, 45 into 2 is 90, 72 into 2 is 156, and it goes like that. So that's almost all about list. I hope the tutorial was beneficial for you all. Thank you.
Hope that video helped you in developing your conception. Give it a like, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share. Thanks for watching.